back-to-back Stanley Cup victories.
Greatness.
And a new legacy begins.
Absolutely amazing.
It has happened in Vegas.
Is not a destination.
And lightning has struck twice.
It is a continuous journey that never ends.
These are the moments you dream of.
Stanley Cup champions.
Are you a content creator looking to expand your audience and make your voice heard in your community? Rogers TV wants to provide you with a platform to share your hobbies, interests, and stories for free. Visit us to find out more. This is Rogers TV.
Field next to the beautiful Indian Falls Conservation Area in Balmy Beach, just outside of Owen Sound, Ontario, for the U11 Provincial Semifinals. This game being played between the Owen Sound Junior Bay Sox and the Collingwood Jays. My name is J.C. Coots alongside Spencer Byers. And, well, Spencer, if you're watching on the screen at home right now, you'll probably see that the grounds crew, otherwise known as dads, grandfathers, volunteers, moms and such, are out there putting down some sawdust to help with some overnight rain. Quite a bit of overnight rain we had here.
Yeah, not only over rain, JC, it became daily rain. It's basically, as I assume you woke up and I woke up from Port Elgin and Wyerton respectively, it was thundering where you and I were. I woke up to thunder, you woke up to thunder, so I think you and I both kind of knew at that point that we were probably going to be under a rain delay. It just turned out that it was not necessarily a half-hour rain delay. It was a 2-hour rain delay. So a little bit behind schedule, but I assume with the other game going on right now down in Shaw Lake, the other semifinal, that, you know, obviously the final will take place here today down in Owen Sound. We'll just have to see, you know, who that winner between Muskoka and Newmarket will be, and then who they happen to play between Owen Sound and Collingwood.
I'm going to say at 9 a.m., which was the original intended time for this game to start, this field was still kind of underwater at this time. So you really got to shout out the efforts of these parents and volunteers who have been nonstop this morning, bringing in truckload after truckload of sawdust. There were a number of dads out here with leaf blowers, an instrument I'm sure they thought they weren't going to have to worry about using for at least another month or so. They had them out here doing whatever they could to dry this field as quickly as possible so that these kids could play today. And this just shows you that it takes a village sometimes to raise a kid, or to at least let kids play a sport.
Yeah, and you see again there, you see all the, I'll say, dads, uncles, grandparents, as you mentioned, JC, trying to rake off the what is the mound, as you kind of see them adding more sawdust to it. Again, just trying to find a way to get this field somewhat playable, because again, as you mentioned, when we showed up here, they were scooping up dirt and mud into wheelbarrows now that they're using for sawdust to try to get this field at least somewhat usable, because you and I mentioned, or you and I off air mentioned about, you know, 9:30, 10 o'clock, it's like, you know, that ground ball, it's going to die. It's going to take 2 hops, and it's going to hit some mud, and it's just going to stop. So it'll be interesting to see how that does play a factor as this game goes on. The sun is now shining, so that also should help with the playing conditions here today. As you see there, the Collingwood Jays running, trying to get themselves warmed up, as, you know, again, they were preparing for a game about 2 hours ago.
Kind of appropriate that you see the Collingwood Jays running, because they have been running through this tournament thus far, and most of their games have not ended with the full game being needed to be played, because Collingwood has just been that dominant in this tournament and are looking to continue that in the semifinals here today.
Yeah, they've mercied everybody. I mean, the mercy rule is after 5 innings, 10 runs or more, and they beat Owen Sound 14-0. They beat Toronto, Northern Toronto, 12-0. They beat Essex 11-1, and then there were one crossover game against the other division, that Muskoka, who's in the other semifinal down in Shaw Lake against Newmarket, 16-6. And I was at that game. I happened to catch that entire game down in Shaw Lake as it was on my way home to Wyerton. Owen Sound, on the other hand, as we mentioned, lost to Collingwood, but since then, they got their 2 wins against Essex 10-9, which is what got them here, because Essex and Owen Sound both ended 2-2. That head-to-head got them to the semifinal. They beat Northern Toronto 8-5, and then lost at that point, winless Orangeville Bengals 8-7 in their last game. But obviously, with the win over Essex, it didn't end up mattering to the playoff seeding, which I guess is lucky for them, because again, it was a 1-run differential between them and Essex, which, and as Mark Perry told me beforehand, they were down 6 runs in that game against Essex and were able to come back and pull it out. So, it is good to see a team, even at this young age of 9 and 10, being able to show some resiliency and be able to pull back from what feels like, especially in hardball, an almost insurmountable lead of 6, with a 4-run mercy in these innings, which we will come to see, I assume, throughout the day.
Well, it's a whole different beast at this level, and we're in for some excitement today. You just never know, even if it looks like the script might be written in favor of Collingwood. The Junior Bay Sox will have something to say about that here today at home. Obviously, this delay maybe could play a little bit into the game. I'm not sure. Both teams have been doing their best to stay warm and to stay loose here as this delay has continued and is now continuing just past our 11 a.m. rescheduled time as final touches are being put onto the field here.
I will mention, I did get a chance to talk to the umpires, who are all going into high school, so again, they're also kids. Jack Mazzell and Alex Drummond will be running around the base paths, while Will Hellier I actually believe it is Jack Mazzell behind the plate. Alex Drummond and Will Hellier will be running the bases. And I will mention, I asked them, because I asked how old they are, and they're going 13, turning 14, going into high school. And I made sure I asked, and there are the guys there. You see Jack Mazzell in the middle wearing the gorilla suit. But I will mention Hellier, who's at the far end of those guys. His uncle is Mr. Hillier at St. Mary's, my favorite English teacher. And he's going to the best school in Owen Sound in St. Mary's, only the one of the 3. So shout out to Will going to St. Mary's, the best high school in the area. Yes, you can at me, and yes, if you want to come down to the field and, chew me a new one about that proclamation, go ahead. I am a loyal St. Mary's supporter, as a graduate with proof of my diploma. I have that one at home, JC. It's right beside my college diploma.
I'll have to take your word for it, Spencer.
I don't think I got a picture of it, because I didn't think it was that big of an accomplishment, but I still got that diploma. I still got that piece of paper. And they did tell us before the game they wanted a quick chance to look over the sponsors, and of course we do thank them, because without them, we wouldn't be here. In all honesty, the field wouldn't be here. None of the obviously the equipment. All the kids have names on the back of their jerseys, which I know is expensive from high school sports. And you see the Owen Sound Bay Sox. All of the kids individually will get a chance to look at them as they take the field, and hopefully soon enough time. And we do thank the sponsors, because it's very important to support locally, especially in minor sports. And I think, JC, it's really pleasant to get a chance to do something like this, because, again, we do a lot of the older age groups, obviously, with the Attack and the Knights of Meaford, and even now the Bay Sox, and obviously the North Stars, that's Junior B, Senior B, or the MSL team. But, it's always nice to come down and get a chance to do the U11, U13, U15 kids.
Yeah, at any level, these kids, and they always love to see themselves on television at any age. It doesn't matter if they're the Junior Bay Sox or the Senior Bay Sox. They love seeing their games right here on Rogers TV as well. And if you're a parent, you know that the cost of sports is getting to be incredibly insane, and it goes up every year at every level. And then when you factor in travel and you factor in weekend tournaments away, and a number of these teams have come from away to be here, that's a lot of money that goes into a weekend like this, and it's time off work for the parents. And if sponsors can help make that a little bit easier,
obviously have to stay in the hotel.
Exactly.
And cost.
Anything that makes it a little bit easier so that these kids get to chase their dreams, whether their dreams maybe of professional sports someday, or they're just dreams of being part of a team and being part of something bigger than themselves. It's an amazing thing that sponsors like this will pony up and help out and know what's really important in their communities.
Well, not only that, JC, it's also really important for the kids, obviously, to be a part of a team, to learn all the things you don't necessarily learn from, I'll say, schooling or, just kind of playing at the park, right? Like, it shows you how you have to be in camaraderie, how to, be able to, do something better for the team, like a sac fly or a bunt, right? Like, that's not a selfish play. That's a selfless play. Because, in fairness, a bunt you should be usually an out. but you bunt the guy around, try to get the run. So it shows you how to be a team player and how to be able to work within a system, which is very important at any age. And usually you can see it in real life when people aren't really taught that from a young age, that they can't really deal with people and can't find a way to put themselves in that, I'll say, team mindset where you have to pull yourself out of it and just say what's best for the collective.
That's right. You don't have to win, and you don't have to go to a high level to get something out of sports, at whatever sport it might be.
At this point, JC, I'm thinking the parents are getting a bigger workout than the kids are going to while this game goes on, but we'll have to see. As again, the sun started beating down on us about an hour ago, which is very good with all the sawdust to help out with this rather rough terrain at this point.
At this point, some of these dads raking the field as though it is an Olympic sport. This guy going for the gold, obviously.
And I don't blame him, to be honest. It's rough work with that sun just beating down on you.
Of course, we are competing against the Summer Olympics this afternoon.
Which obviously has already started because of the time difference down in Paris, down in the great country of France. And I will mention that while this game goes on, Canada will be playing in their quarterfinal matchup in basketball against Team France, the home side, which is, when I saw the matchup, JC, I was unimpressed, because it is definitely not going to be the easiest matchup for Canada, with Victor Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert being two of the tallest people on earth and being two of the best players on the French team, and Canada lacking size defensively. But they've done great so far this tournament. Undefeated are the Canadians, and very excited to see how they do in that matchup. I will be keeping an eye on it while we do this game between Owen Sound and Collingwood, but obviously my main attention will be here at Balmy Beach with a game that looks to be, as the parents clear the field, the truck gets off the field. Looks like we'll be starting in here just a couple minutes.
And I will say, as a programming note for those that are joining us live this afternoon, the plan is to also carry the final game of this Battle of the Bay series here today. We do not know exactly when the final game will begin. We're told sometime anywhere from 30 to possibly 60 minutes following this semifinal game. The other semifinal, of course, being played in Shallow Lake right now. We are unaware of where that game is or what the score might be, but as we learn that information, we will pass it along.
And again, it is between the Muskoka Hornets and the Newmarket, and I should have their name, but it just escapes me. I think it may be the Hawks, but I'm not 100% sure. But we will update it, and it will only update once the game is over. I will mention that. There is no live scoring, so we'll have to just kind of wait and see. And it is the Newmarket Hawks. So Newmarket Hawks versus the Muskoka Hornets down in Shallow Lake. That game has already started at 10 o'clock after their only hour rain delay because of that field being on what Mark told me, bedrock. So it didn't pool like it did here at Balmy Beach. In the pit, as Rick Olmstead told us before the game. I know Rick wanted a shout-out, so I thought I'd give it to him early. Get that out of the way.
Well, Rick was also bragging to anyone that would listen that he's once put a ball into the tennis courts from behind home plate here.
Well, if there's anything about Rick, he's very humble. Very humble, and he's got a lot of humility. Does our graphics and camera 4 operator, Rick Olmstead, of Hepworth, might I add. So, almost where I'm from, where he's currently residing.
Well, the umpire's taking a look at the field now, as looks like we're just about ready. We've got the truck off the field now. Looks like the appropriate amount of sawdust has been spread, and we're just about ready to play ball here this afternoon.
And you can tell the kids are also getting a little restless, obviously. U11, so these are 9 and 10-year-old kids, so obviously, when you're told you're starting to play at 9 a.m., they get up early, we get up early. Obviously, of course, all the guys in the truck and all the camera people get up real early to be here, and then to have a 2-hour delay where there's nothing really we can do, it makes everybody a little bit restless as we get a chance to look at what is the Owen Sound order. It did change basically about 10 minutes ago when we got handed a new lineup sheet as JC edits his sheet. I think I got mine all edited up. So Henderson Bartley will lead off, then followed by Dennis Flood, Hunter Edmonds, and then I believe hitting 4 will be Marty Chesser, pardon me. And then in the 5-hole will be Lance Fisher. 6-hole Jack Seeley, pardon me. Jack Harris hitting 8. I believe that would make, if I can count this right, that would make, 7 Jude Maloney, 8 Jack Harris, Avery Blackburn would be the 9-hole, I want to say. And then the players you can't see off screen, I believe would be Van Cedar next, then Caden Henderson. I believe actually Owen Gurney's also in there somewhere. We'll get a chance to go through it all and fix it all up once, obviously, the kids make it onto the field. And then Liam Down, as well as, there's one I'm definitely missing. It might be Caden Carson, pardon me. But I believe we've named all the players that will be participating. So obviously, we've said a lot more names than 9. At least I said a lot more names than 9. There only will be 9 kids taking the field. But there are, I believe every kid here is hitting. So there'll be 13 for Owen Sound and only 12 for Collingwood. As I'm surrounded by Jays right now, I feel a little bombarded. Because they're about as tall as me when I stand up. So sitting down, they've got me beat by a couple inches. So I'm just trying to, not get, I guess, completely surrounded, JC. I feel a little worried. They're also wearing blue, so I'm feeling a little, standoffish right now. Like I'm getting surrounded like they're going to put cuffs on me. So I might stand up here in a second.
I will also say, too, based on the youthfulness, I'm not sure if they're Collingwood Jays or the newest members of the Toronto Blue Jays who have recently been called up.
I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, especially with the way the Jays have been playing, I mean, they might need to give them a call after the game if Collins able to pull out the win here today.
Well, they are definitely surrounding us here. Is there a team cheer happening or something here, guys? Oh, apparently we're going to be part of the team cheer.
Oh no. Well, that's going to take some of the bias away, JC. So hopefully you don't look down on us too bad. They're Owen Sound faithful, as the umpires are just trying to make sure everything gets measured out to make sure we got the plane.
We cannot see how many people are watching.
I don't know if you can
We're
hear
already
them,
being asked questions about our ratings this afternoon.
That's not even the great Mark Perry in my ear asking me. It's the 10 and 9-year-old kids asking us. Man, we're getting pressed right now. I'm not sure what's going on here.
You have to yell at them.
And now the Bay Sox are coming over. I mean, it's coming to a party here in the I guess the media tent is what I'm going to call it. Usually I'd call it a booth, but we're only under a tent from what was rain. As again, we're getting surrounded here, and I'm getting a little antsy here, JC, because again, they're about my height, so they're all looking me in the eyes. So it feels a little unfair, JC. It feels a little unfair.
I will say this to any aspiring athletes: the best piece of advice I can give to you is not to get as close as you can to 2 guys who have never won anything in their life. We're just bad karma here.
I got a couple third-place medals from House League Soccer, thank you, in one of my dressers.
I stand corrected. I did not realize you had a couple of third-place medals.
Yeah, a couple third-place ones, okay? I never got anything in softball. Actually, I got a consolation trophy in softball. that was a 2-win year. That was the best year I had in softball. I got 3 wins in 3 years, so I'm not going to talk about my things. And the umpires looking at us too. I swear, guys. Like, we're not that interesting. We're not that interesting. I swear. Guys, I work at Tim Hortons. Like, my life's not that interesting. At least JC's on radio. He's the interesting one here. Attack him.
It looks like the field is getting close. They're just doing some final measurements to get the batter's box all set up here.
And I will mention, I told Jack Mazzell behind home plate to be loud for us. You better be loud for us, Jack, okay? I want the cameras to be able to hear you, okay?
That's right. We want to hear those balls.
We want some theatrics here tonight, Jack. Here we go.
I'm not sure if they're applauding us or Jack.
I'll go with Jack.
I assume it's for Jack.
I rather pump Jack's tires than my own. You see the coaches back there, and we're getting more photo ops, JC. I'm not sure I appreciate these photo ops. I mean, I think the hair looks good, but I'm not 100% sure. So I can only hope the hair looks good, 'cause that's all I care about. I spent about an hour and a half in the bathroom, so
I feel like
make sure it looks good.
We have a missed opportunity of not having a microphone down here to talk to any of these players.
I mean, the great Mark Perry might run out here in a minute and give us a microphone, because again, we are just surrounded by, I think, every kid on either team. Again, there's more photo ops going on, so It's I'll say a little surreal. Not normally do we get bombarded by athletes. Normally we're up high enough in the bird's eye view, but now that we're hanging out.
Let me ask the Collingwood Jays, who's the most talkative player on your team? Who can talk right now? They're pointing at the catcher. Here, put these on.
All right, so now I'm talking to from what my sheet tells me as I quickly run to it, Mitchell Scott. So hi, Mitchell, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm all right. So, coming into this game, you guys obviously had a 2-hour rain delay. Do you feel like that's going to affect your team here today?
No, but it's kind of annoying.
I mean, I agree with you. It is kind of annoying. The whole crew got here pretty early, and I know I was ready for a 9 a.m. game. I was racing here from the great town of Wyerton, and I know you guys obviously. I assume you stayed, or did you guys drive all the way back? From
Yeah,
Collingwood?
I was camping.
You were camping. Well, how was camping?
It was fun.
That was fun. Well, I hope so. Were you camping in, I assume, the Owen Sound then?
Yeah.
Nice. Which campground?
Pine something.
Pine Tree is what I got
Yeah.
told. So Pine Tree Campground. So shout out to Pine Tree for hosting, I assume, a lot of the Jays here today as the umpires again keep staring at us. I think we're almost ready for baseball. I hope we're almost ready for baseball.
The diamond looks ready.
I mean, the diamond I think the players are ready though. Are the players ready? I'm looking at everybody surrounding me. I think that was a resounding yes. So I know the guys are ready. I think the coaches are ready as they're staring right at us. So, again, I'm sweating a little more with getting surrounded right now. I feel like I'm gonna have to wring out my my tie after this one. So back to the dry cleaners I go. I think we're gonna hand over the mic to one of the Bay Sox. Thank you, Mitchell. And here we go. So who are we giving it to?
This is Kai.
And it's Kai Van Cedar. So Kai, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm all right. So obviously your dad's one of the head coaches. Paul Van Cedar plays for the Bay Sox that play on Thursday against Barrie in their game 1 of their playoff series. So what is it like to get a chance to play in your semifinal here this weekend?
Well, I'm not playing, but it's pretty fun watching.
Well, what was it like playing in the tournament before you got hurt?
It's fun. Like, I'm upset that I can't play, but it's fun to watch all of them.
So, with not being able to play, I assume you've taken the leadership role on the bench to get the guys going to try to get the cheers on?
Yeah, and also scorekeeping.
Ooh, score? Well, that's an important job. I was a scorekeeper, as you can tell, because there's a reason why I wasn't on the diamond, because I couldn't hit anything. I walked a lot. I was Juan Soto without any of the juice. Okay, I sat on the bench. That was my job. But so what would you say? Obviously, playing Collingwood, you guys want to get the win, but what is it like hosting a tournament like this? Obviously, you guys are the home team. You're in the Owen Sound area. You guys get to play all your games here at Balmy Beach. What was that like?
There's more pressure, but
Pressure's good.
yeah.
Pressure's how you make diamonds.
Mhm.
Was there anything you'd like to say to the fans out there watching here in the Owen Sound and greater surrounding area?
Thanks to everybody for coming out, because there's a lot of people who aren't like family but they're just like friends or something coming out.
I mean,
And watching.
yeah, you gotta love the fans that just come out and watch and just to take in the surroundings of a U11 tournament, especially one that's gone on for the last 3 days down here, and of course in Shallow Lake as the other semifinal continues. But Kai, what is it like watching your dad play for the seniors?
It's fun. Most of the time I play with whoever's at the games. I will play like sandlot baseball, anything we can really play.
Yeah, you go around the batting cages. I usually see you guys running around there when I get a chance to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm getting messed with too. I swear, guys.
Yep.
You mess with the hair, I'm gonna get real upset. Okay, I got more gel just in case, but I spent 45 minutes in the bathroom trying to get this thing up. Okay, so
It's number 9.
I don't mention the kids messing with me. It's okay. I can handle it. As you see there, a little scope of all the fans sitting up on the real bird's eye view up there right beside the cars,
Yep.
where I wish you and I could sit, JC. JC, you got any questions? You want my headset, JC?
One glove, Gertie. Me. Yeah.
All right, we're passing around the headsets. We're going to chant with Lance, who's the starting pitcher right now for the Junior Bay Sox. So, Lance, how many games have you pitched in this tournament?
0.
0. This is your debut in this tournament.
Yes.
All right. how do you prepare to pitch a game? What is part of your process of getting ready? When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do when you know I'm pitching today?
I'm not sure.
You don't have any like little superstitions? You don't have to
No.
tap the wall 3 times or wear your lucky socks or anything like that?
No.
No, you're just a normal guy. There's no pressure, right? You're talking to me before you have to pitch. You're not worried about it or anything. Obviously, you're cool as a cucumber here, man.
Yeah.
You're all ready to go. What's
Yeah.
your best pitch? Do you have different pitches, or you just throw it as hard as you can every time?
Yeah, throw it as hard as I
That's
can.
the strategy. As hard as I can every time.
Yeah.
Can you throw? Do you pitch a complete game now, or do you have to come out at a certain point?
Come out at a certain time.
At a certain time? Are you on a pitch count? Like I'm only throwing 60 pitches today, and then I'm out. Is it something
Yeah.
like that? Yeah. And do you ever get any pain in the elbow or anything like that?
No.
No Tommy John surgery coming up or anything like that? No, you're going to be good? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, best of luck today, Lance. It was good to chat with you.
Thank you.
Who's taking the headset next here? We should let one of the Collingwood Jays chat next. Who's one of the Jays that wants to chat over here? Oh. All right, who we got here? Is this Miko? This is Jackson stepping up here?
Yes.
Jackson, how you doing, man?
Good.
What position do you play?
Center field.
Center field
Yeah.
for the Collingwood Jays. How long have you played baseball?
So far 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
And you're already here. Wow. And all right, do you have any game day superstitions?
Chewing gum on one side of my mouth.
Chewing gum on one side, and is that the left side from what I can see?
Yes.
That's it. So the gum has to stay over here. Does
Yes.
it stay in the entire game? Same
Yes.
piece of gum?
Yes.
You don't get it like a fresh piece?
No.
You keep the same piece in?
Yes.
How long have you already been chewing that piece?
40 minutes? I don't know.
40 minutes?
30.
Wow, so you just pop it in at a certain point before the game
Yeah.
starts, and you keep the same one the entire game.
Yes.
Do you know how many times I spit gum out because it loses the flavor? I go through a pack of juicy fruit in about a day, like an entire pack, because I can't. Once the flavor's gone, it's terrible. And you're gonna keep chewing that through the entire
Yes.
game. So you're gonna go like 4 for 4 at the plate today because of the lucky gum, right?
Maybe.
Okay, what kind of gum is it that's lucky gum?
Was it Hubba Bubba, Double Bubble?
Double.
I don't know.
All right. Okay. Well, we know.
I have no
That's what all ball players chew gum or chew something anyway. Grass sometimes. Here we go. Yeah. It looks
Okay.
like it's game
Thank
time,
you.
guys. Good luck, everybody. Wow. I've never been so fascinated by gum chewing before.
Well, JC, now we've switched headsets, so now this changes everything. I'm not sure if I'm ready. You know, now my superstar. We gonna train back?
we better switch back.
Thank goodness, JC. I almost felt like my superstition was going to get messed up there. My headset was wrong. You know, I was surrounded by these hooligans. You know, I felt a little uncomfortable. You know, I didn't know what was going on.
Well, they don't have fun like this at the major league level, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I don't see Bo Bichette. You know, the only time I saw Bo Bichette with a microphone was during the All-Star game. I think that was last year, wasn't it? Not it was two years ago.
So quick instructions happening at home plate right now as the umpire crew chats with the coaches of both teams.
Also, some of the coaching staff talking to some of the guys just before the game. I see Paul Van Cedar giving out his last instructions, and obviously as a senior base sock, obviously got lots of information to just gift out to these U11 kids.
I'm just realizing, Spencer, my wallet's gone after those kids were here. Hey, kids! I'm just kidding.
Well, I don't bring my wallet outside the car. I make sure that, you know, I make sure the important things stay in the car.
Yeah, try to use any of the credit cards, kids.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. I'm maxed out on everything, guys, okay? You guys are 11. You guys already got more money than I do, okay? You got a tuna, you got me beat. You got me beat.
Again, if you're just joining us, this game originally was scheduled to take place at 9 a.m. this morning, this semifinal game. Overnight rain, heavy rain overnight, resulted in the field being pretty much flooded at about 9 o'clock this morning. It was the very quick, massive effort by parents and volunteers to get the field prepared. Trucks, yes, that is plural, trucks of sawdust was brought in. And that is why you see the kind of multicolored field appearance, as it's sawdust and mud. But it's good enough and safe enough to play now as the Collingwood Jays take the field. They won the coin flip. They'll be the home team.
Yes, that they will, so they'll bat second. And we'll get a chance to look at the fielding. Now, again, some of these positions will move around as, again, they're batting all 12 players here on Collingwood, so they have a couple kids on the bench. But starting off with it looks to be Parker Robertson, Jackson McCrank, who you spoke to, JC, and Oliver Crowder down in the corners. While moving to the infield, it'll be Grant Nielsen at third base, Miko Weinper at shortstop, Jack Boyd at second, and Mackay Stewart at first. And I will mention Nielsen and first baseman's name just completely skipped me. Stewart are big kids as Ethan Jibb is pitching and Mitchell Scott at catcher. And I was told by Ethan before the game that he does prefer the nickname Jibber because it sounds cooler, and I don't necessarily disagree. So Jibber pitching tonight for Collingwood. And you'll see the rubber there. That's a good shot of it, because I'll be honest, the Collingwood, I knew the kids were stepping on something, JC. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see a rubber. So I couldn't tell if they just had, like, I'll say, like more like a plate there, like a piece of wood, or if there was an actual rubber. Here there is a rubber, so it'll be pretty easy to see. And there is a cover over home plate that extends the play about, I'll say, an inch either way to give the kids a little bit more room for error, which obviously, again, for a U11 tournament is kind of expected.
Just getting some warm-ups in here after this lengthy delay. The teams have been here this entire time waiting to go.
That's why they surrounded us, JC, because they were itching to get back on the field.
Even though that this is it is a big game, it's a semifinal game. Winner gets to play in the final at some point after this. Loser goes home. Even though it's a big game, you still got the sense that these kids, they know it's just a game, it's just baseball, it's just another day for them, and they're just happy to be out here.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be out here, JC. I mean, it got me out of the bed, out of the house, you know, in the now fresh air and the sun that's finally decided to show up about 3 hours late, JC. And, you know, it's so nice to be out here and get a chance again to broadcast the youth tournaments. One of my favorite things during the summer, JC, I look forward to it every year, is the Father's Day lacrosse tournament that we've already done on Rogers TV. This was a happy surprise. This was being held here in Owen Sound. JC and I was eager to put my name out in front and say that I would love to do this event, regardless if that's play-by-play or color, or if I got to sit in the truck with the great Mark Perry and the truck guys to make their way down, I believe, from Barrie.
And we are underway here. It is Henderson Bartley at the plate. Pitches in, that one fouled back down the line. Just over the head of our volunteer camera person.
And I will mention that there is a giant gap where they got the truck through on the left field side. So, if that ball does end up going obviously out of play, it's a dead ball. Automatically dead ball.
Bartley in, facing Jibb. Pitch. Swung on, hit down the third base line. Bartley runs it out, and they got him at first.
Good throw there by Nielsen. Again, one of the bigger players in the team, which you would usually think JC means a pretty big arm, and he showed it off there. And I also mentioned that one of the other big kids is on first base, so, you know, he's able to stretch out Mackay Stewart and be able to nab that ball.
Dennis Flood up to bat now, the right fielder.
And I will mention, JC, they have walk-up songs, which I do love. Even for a U11 tournament, we got walk-up songs, which I had a little bit of fun with out at Shaw Lake, and now I'm fun here in Balmy Beach.
First pitch in a Flood is a strike. The 0-1. Flood has to duck on that one.
That was a pretty good duck. He got right down.
Yeah, read the high delivery right out of the hand of Ethan Jibb. 1-1 pitch. Outside, that'll be ball 2. Jibb on the mound. 2-1 pitch. Outside for ball 3.
They also have a rosin bag out there, JC. That kind of surprises me. Not sure if any kid's going to use the rosin bag, but we'll see.
Can he find the zone? He does.
Hey, and that's a good strike call there from Mazzell. Like that.
That runs the count full on Dennis Flood. There's the pitch. Ticks it back. Flood stays alive.
And I will mention, JC, they got a little overhang on the batting cage here at the Diamond, which is nice because it saved you and I from having a fly ball come right at us. Okay, I didn't bring my helmet, okay? I'm not exactly prepared for a loose ball.
Ball 4 issued to Flood. He will trot down to first, and at this point now, quick chat going to be happening on the mound.
And a little touch from the rosin bag. Just trying to get a little bit more grip on the ball. Gotta appreciate that. And what are the kids' walk-up songs? As you mentioned, they're in Hunter Edmonds. It's Barbie Girl. And what a walk-up song to come out to.
First pitch low, and taking off now will be Flood to second base. He will be in safely there.
We'll mention, though, with a lefty batter, it means he has a cooler look right at third base if he tries to try to steal third base.
That pitch catches the corner for strike one.
So we'll see if the runner does try to attempt to steal third base here on Scott.
1-1 pitch. Just a bit low for ball 2.
Good catch, though, by the catcher. That ball, he basically caught right as it hit the dirt.
Another one finds the high corner there. In for a strike, 2-2.
Ethan Gibson's pretty good so far on the mound for Collingwood. Been pretty good so far locating.
That one just a bit high. Runs the count full for Edmonds.
Owen Sound to chinning basically the whole game so far, which you got to also appreciate. I know Collingwood will do the same.
That one popped up, drops into center field. That'll be a good one as Flood comes around third, heading into home, and he will score an RBI.
RBI single.
For Edmonds.
And I believe we'll bring up Marty Chesser. And it will be Chesser hitting in the 4-hole. Again, we had some late adds to the lineup sheet. That's a great job there by Scott, knowing they're going to try to take that second bag and try to straight out towards first base, try to get a throw right at second.
The pitch delivered quickly for a strike on the Chesser. Chesser looking down the line for some instruction, I believe, from the coach here. He's into the batter's box now. That one low for a ball. They're going to try to get the pickoff at second. Throw just a bit high from behind the plate.
He also got the ball a little low, so he didn't get a chance to really collect himself before he threw that ball.
There's the pitch. Finds it for a strike.
I will mention no lead off at this level. You got it. You cannot release from the bag until the ball leaves the pitcher's hand.
Chib with the pitch. That one swung on and missed. That'll be strike 3.
But he caught it. What a catch by Scott on that one. As he takes a little look at me. That was a great catch. And now it is the pitcher for the Bay Sox in Lance Fisher up the bat. 2 out.
Pitcher on pitcher. That's a high one. Flood, or make that Edmonds heads up. Recognizes the opportunity. Takes third base.
Good throw, though, by Scott from home plate. Have some confidence in his third baseman and Nielsen to catch it, which he did. It just the throw was a bit late in the end.
Swung on at that one for strike 1.
And again, the mercy rule is 4 runs in any given inning. So Owen Sound's got 1 of the 4.
Junior Bay Sox looking to add to the lead. Ball 2.
And that ball's live, so that's going to be another run.
That is another run scored. That live ball, little mistake by Scott behind the plate, leads to a second run for the Junior Bay Sox. Pressure off Fisher here at the plate now. Pitch is in, swung and missed. Strike two.
I think he made a little contact, JC. Scott didn't nab that one, though, but it obviously counts as a foul strike, so I believe 2 strikes now.
Missed that one entirely to strike out. That'll be the second strikeout of the inning, but 2-run score. And the Junior Bay Sox will head to the home half of the first with the lead.
And we'll get a chance to get a second look at the missed throw from Scott to Ethan Jibb. Good attempt though by Scott behind the plate to try to get the out once he got reception of that ball. But now we'll get a chance to see what Owen Sound looks like in their first defensive walkout. As the battery will be Harris versus Fisher, Harris and Fisher will be the battery for Owen Sound to start off this game.
First chance to warm up.
And as you mentioned, JC, when you talked to, I believe it was Fisher for Owen Sound, is at this level at, 9, 10, 11 years old, they're basically only throwing fastballs. You're not really learning any off-speed pitches until you're closer to 13, 14, puberty hits, and you can, kind of get those fingers right, because usually off-speed pitches are a little harder on the elbow.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when I heard some Pedro Martinez speaking on MLB TV and all that stuff, the field as Hunter Ends will be playing shortstop. Van Cedar down at second, Jude Maloney at first, and I believe playing third from my sheet will be, well, I grabbed the wrong one. Quickly scanning for it. I wrote it down. It will be Caden Carson, who I had to add late, as I mentioned. Fisher and Harris will be the battery for Owen Sound. And then leading off for Collingwood will be Ethan Jibb, the pitcher. Which, JC, unless you're the Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani has a good elbow, no pitcher's hitting first. So it'll be interesting to see what Ethan Jibb can do in the first at-bat for Collingwood here today.
It is curious when you look at the starting lineup like that, but you pretty much at the U11 level can throw out any sort of strategy that you would be used to at the major league level, because it's just so much different here.
And also, you're developing everything, right? You're not really, I'll say, even attempting to specialize at any point at this level.
Now, at this level, you can expect that mistakes get made, but the great thing about this level and making mistakes is you get to learn from them and you get to become better. There's a swing, a dead ball called right away. First pitch into Jibb from Fisher.
We'll mention Jibb's very much in the box. Like, he's basically on top of the line in the batter's box. So he's really trying to cover the plate, which means that anything inside he's going to let go and really attack the outside part of the plate.
0-1 pitch. Outside, and it sounded like it might have made contact with Jibb. He heads down to first.
Yeah, hit him just right in the abdomen there. As again, he's standing on the line of the batter's box. And when you do that, as Anthony Rizzo shows for the Yankees, you get hit a lot because you're basically on top of the plate. You give the pitcher no room for error on that side. Unlike where you got their second hitter in Boyd, who's far away, so you have lots more inside angle. As Boyd looked to bunt there, did pull back, so it was a ball, as Harris immediately looked at the runner in Jibb.
Leadoff man aboard. scored. Can he make up for it here? Hits it over the head of the left fielder. It's to the fence.
And I will also mention
Stewart is going to score here as coming into third now with the slide. That is Mitchell Scott, so a triple, I would say, makes up for the little error in the
for the run, and now with one more base hit period, or even a deep fly ball, they get the 4-run mercy with that runner at third base. And again, he was covering the plate. His top toe was basically on top of the plate, so no room for error there for Fisher.
And again, they swing at the first pitch. This one drops into shallow center. It will come in. Scott, with authority, stomps on home plate, knowing that that's all they're going to need, and that is it. 4-2. The Collingwood Jays double up the lead, and that will do it for the first inning.
Big inning there for Collingwood, JC. And again, I think they're showing off. We got told by the great Mark Perry, we had a chance to talk to Collingwood before we got here because they didn't have numbers on their sheets. They had to get numbers and then positions and the batting order from them. And their head coach said they played a tournament not too long ago, and they got to the championship Sunday, and the bats went cold, and it just didn't go well for them. They were hoping that wouldn't happen today. And, you know, you can argue maybe the rain delay helped or hurt. So far, it hasn't affected either team, it feels like, JC, and especially Collingwood, as they come out hot in this one with the sun beating down now.
Yeah, they definitely look good, but you can probably hear the cheering in the background. That is the Junior Bay Sox. They're still fired up. They know they got some work to do here.
As Jib throwing to Jib. Now his coach Jib comes out to wait for Scott to get back behind the plates. Obviously, he just ran the bag, so now he's got to run on and get all that equipment back on quick to get back onto the field.
If you want to say that Ethan Jib had any issues in the first, he did get a mound visit from the elder Jib, and that seemed to settle things down.
I will also mention, JC, you get 3, from what I read from the rules, I didn't get a chance to look at them before the game, you get 3 mound visits per inning per pitcher, which is a lot. And I assume most coaches don't use that many, but I think obviously it's important to get a chance to talk to the pitchers and the infielders and the catcher just to make sure you know that they're all completely set on what exactly they got to do.
Well, Ethan Jib looks like he's got a sufficient amount of warm-up in. It'll be the second baseman, Jack Seeley, to lead things off this inning.
Who's in, I believe, the 6 or 7 hole.
2 strikeouts for Ethan Jib in the top of the first. That one, pitch number 1 in for a strike. Jib delivers, swung on and fouled down the right field line.
That makes it an 0-2 count.
Seeley in a bit of a jam here. Hearing the cheers coming from his dugout and his teammates. Jib is set. Delivers. Got the corner. Struck out looking.
Maybe a little low, but again, the strike call starts at the beginning of the plate, not at the end. So if the ball lands low at the end, that doesn't matter as long as it hit the bottom of the plate at the beginning, which it must have. And again, a great strikeout call there from Jack Mazzell behind home plate.
Jude Maloney is up next. First pitch in for a strike.
And again, the lefty-righty mix-up is interesting. Again, when I played a lot of righties, I was included in the righty match. But you know, there's been no problem from either pitcher, but especially Jib, on the righty-lefty difference. He's been dominating that outside on the current lefty. In Maloney.
Maloney, the first baseman. 0-2. Fouls that one back.
Yeah, he just missed some parents just trying to get themselves settled in. So, good way to get the blood pumping, get the adrenaline going. There's the ball coming right at you.
Pitch. Got him. Caught him looking second batter in a row.
And you can tell why Ethan Jib's the pitcher, JC. That was a great pitch, and I called it from just behind Mazzell here at home plate, because we are basically just behind home plate. We got the best seats in the house, I'd say, JC.
Pretty good seats for us.
Other than probably Ken Ellis, who's looking right down at home plate. He's probably got a little bit of a better seat, but I'd say second best ain't too bad.
Catcher Jack Harrison now. First pitch swinging. Back to center fielder. The left fielder makes the catch.
That's a good catch there by Robertson, as they'll now travel in, will Collingwood, as they give up the goose egg there in the second inning and hope to extend their lead now.
No runs, no hits, none left on base as it's 3 up, 3 down inning for the Collingwood Jays. 2 more strikeouts. That's 4 now for Ethan Chibb.
And I will think we're going to have to start trying to keep count of that, JC, because that strikeout count might get a little bit higher as this game goes on. The umpires come together, you know, got to make sure they drink some fluids that are right in the sun, JC. You and I got a little tent, so we have a little bit of protection from the UV rays.
Oh, it would not go well with my Scottish skin here. I would be burning in about 2 minutes, Spencer.
Well, I'm wearing a dress shirt and dress pants, so I'd be sweating like I was stuck in the Sahara. So I'm already sweating now, and I'm in the shade. So thank goodness we got this tent from, you know, the Rogers TV crew hanging out in the truck, and the great Mark Perry who brought the cargo van. As again, they got catcher had to bat, so they're trying to get all their equipment on as quick as they can. Which I can tell you, as a former mediocre catcher, you know, it's definitely time consuming to get all that gorilla gear on.
Jackson McCrank will be the leadoff man here in the bottom of the second, the center fielder for the Collingwood Jays. Oliver Crowder and Miko Weinberg also due up.
I actually think leading off this will be Crowder, because the last hit was made by McCrank. He got the final single that scored the 4th run.
That is true. Stand corrected there, because it was, of course, a mercy inning.
Yeah, that's kind of the one thing you and I will have to keep in mind, is because of the mercy, that kid won't get to go back, obviously, on that bag. They will just restart the inning. So, you feel bad scoring that last run, not getting a chance to run the bases, but obviously I don't think McCrank really cares because he got the mercy rule.
That's right. He got the RBI, so he's happy. Stat line is still padded.
Yeah, the stat line is still batting 1,000 right now.
Here is Oliver Crowder.
Digging in. Really digging in.
Set against Fisher. That one in high for a ball.
And I will mention throughout the broadcast, especially in the final, when we get there, a lot of the kids have, you know, open, close stances. I'll explain what that means as the broadcast goes on. Toe tap, if you go leg kick or don't go leg kick, as that one goes nice and low and Crowder goes right after it.
Good cut by Crowder on that one.
Good, better pitch from Fisher.
1-1 in. Crowder makes contact out to center fielder. It'll drop in for a single. Crowder trots safely up to first. Takes a look at second, but that one just a little bit out of reach for him.
And now I can shut him out. Miko Weinper has got Freaks by Timmy Trumpets. That's a good song. I got that in my playlist. As they cheer on their shortstop in Miko Weinper. So I did ask to make sure it is Weinper, and I am correct. We are correct.
Pitch into Weinper. Makes contact. Oh, got it just past the glove of the second baseman.
Yeah, Steeler just couldn't get up there. That's going to be 2. It might be a run, though. Oh, it is.
He's coming around, and scoring will be Oliver Crowder.
RBI double for Weinper. The throw did go into second, so they didn't even try for the runner. Maybe thought they had a chance at Weinper there at the second base, but I think he just beat the throw, as he'll now get a chance to run over to his first base coach and give him off his equipment in the elbow guard, like he's Giancarlo Stanton.
And that'll bring Colton to the plate.
Colton Winch.
Winch pitches in for a ball.
Who's listed as a bench player. We'll see where he will fit into the field once they start making defensive substitutions, which you're unlimited to do.
That one out sign again, ball 2. Weinper at second. Ready to go. He can go now. That one hit right up the middle, past the shortstop. Weinper now turns on the Jets. He's going to come home.
That was easy, and by the way, he ran almost to the Bay Sox bench when he rounded third base. He took a rather wide run. I'll say I basically did the same thing, but that's just because I was laboring while I turned.
RBI for Winch, who is at first now.
And I'm trying to check out which coach has gone out to talk to the pitcher in Fisher. I think it is Ryan Bartley, and it is head coach Ryan Bartley coming out to talk to him. One of the other senior Bay Sox here tonight. They play a game on Thursday. UNL will be doing it, JC. Game 1 of their series in the first round against the Barry squad.
Fisher's pitch hit right to the first baseman and makes the catch. And the Robertson will be retired.
And that's Maloney with the catch, and obviously, again, because the only runner's on first base, that's no advance, so that's just a flyout.
Winch will stay at first, all safe.
And now Robotham will get a chance to step in. He pitched yesterday against El Paso.
First pitch into Robotham. Looks like he might have got the corner, but outside is the call.
Looking good, Lance. Looking good, buddy.
Fisher set, delivers, a bunt laid down here. Quick move by Harris. Can he get it to first in time? Yes, he can.
Just, and now they're running to third base. They thought the runner wasn't going to get there, and that should be an out. It is an out, so a double play in the end. That will end the inning.
Heads up play by Harris to quickly grab that bunt, send it down to first, and then to get the play back over to third as they try to pull the old switcheroo. And the Collingwood Jays do some damage. 2 runs will score, but that will be it.
So that makes it 6-2 going into the top of the third inning. So a mercy in this inning would tie it at 6-all. And we will start talking about the total mercy difference once we get a little bit closer to it. As right now we aren't close to where the mercy runs have to be differential-wise. Which obviously you'd expect, JC, in a semifinal matchup.
Well, this is where the Junior Bay Sox can really show that they're here to play today. River Van Cedar will be due up first. And it was 3 up, 3 down.
As Van Cedar steps in.
Pitch is on the corner, strike 1. Yep. One pitch. A little low, that's a ball. One just outside, ball 2.
I will mention that you spoke to Kai Van Cedar, who is also on this team but is hurt and isn't playing this weekend. And his brother, as you mentioned, River, is now up to bat. And just saw strike 2 there against Jib, who has looked real confident there on the rubber.
Jib delivers, got it low, but hit back to the pitcher. Jib on the run with it. Makes the toss over to first, and Van Cedar is retired.
And that's honestly smart there by Jib to not try to make that long throw. You can easily shorten it up, and he did. I'm surprised he didn't try to go underhand once he made that run towards the first baseman.
Now the right fielder, Avery Blackburn, is up. First pitch into Blackburn, low.
I think just behind him. I think you have to step out to make sure that one didn't catch an ankle.
Pitch in, Blackburn hits it back to the mound. Blackburn running out to first, and it's overthrown. He will be safe at first.
And that's why you try to shorten the throw, because it gives you a little more room for error on that throw back to first base. And you got to make that long throw. You know, the ball can get away from you. And he really sidearmed it, so I assume it just got away there from the first baseman in Mackay Stewart.
Nothing quite better signifies the size difference of some of these players than the matchup you see at first base right now.
And again, Mackay Stewart's probably started really the rally in the first inning for Collingwood. Mashed a 2-run double.
Pitches into Kearney for a strike.
And Gurney kind of stepped out at that one. And now he takes a step out of the box.
All right, Owen, let's see it, buddy. Let's see it. Stay in there.
Pitch swung on, missed. Strike 3.
And that's the 5th K of the day for Jib.
Let's go.
Gurney sits down.
All right, Caden, you got it. All you, Ted, all you, bud.
And it's now one of the late ad, or I guess one of the guys in the back of my sheet, which is why I say late ad. Caden Carson will get a chance to step in.
Carson up for the first time today. Pitches in, swung and missed. Strike 1 to Carson.
Scott holds the runner at first base, and they did a little bit of the staring down at each other, seeing who would flinch first.
There's the pitch. Carson flies that one down the third base line, out of the play, and a 2 count for Carson. Jib sets, delivers, strike and missed by Carson.
6th K and the end of the inning. That's 2K in 2 Ks in every single inning.
All right, bud. Go hold them. Go hold them. Chin up, guys. Chin up.
Still a 4-run lead for the Collingwood Jays here as we head into the home half of the third.
These games are slated for 7 innings. There will be extras today as it is final stage, so we got to find a winner. There won't be no ties. But we'll see if we need the full 7. The mercy rules, as we're now going into the third inning where the mercy rules can begin.
And we're seeing some artwork here.
I can see Flood's on the chest, and Flood is playing for the Bay Sox. Not sure if we've seen Flood. Oh, we did see Flood. He was the second hitter of the game, playing in right field, one of the couple. And again, you've already heard JC and I talk about it, that there are 13 kids hitting for Owen Sound and 12 for Collingwood. Obviously, all can't play the field, so there will be defensive rotations by both sides as this game goes on. We'll do our best to update that as we see them go out on the field. And there are, again, unlimited defensive substitutions, so kids can come in and out as the coaches see fit.
Fisher still warming up here. Looks like it will be Colin Penfold up first. Penfold just about ready to go.
Again, we'll mention the umpires here today. Jack Mazzell behind home plate. Alex Drummond and Will Hillier running around the base pass.
And Penfold is set. He'll step into the box.
And again, one of the other kids who's probably about as tall as me, at only 11 years old. I'm only double his age.
That one in low for a ball. Fisher set. Delivers. Contact by Penfold right to the shortstop. Play is made off to first, but safe as the first baseman was off the bag.
Just got pulled off the bag by the I'm going to say the Edmonds throw. As now Jib will get a chance to come back as we're back to the top of the order there, as Penfold is the 12th hitter, which is the last hitter in the Collingwood lineup.
Jib was hit by pitch in the first. Ended up stealing a base before he made it home eventually.
On the Stewart double, I believe. Thank goodness you got that sheet, JC, where it's got all the diamonds and all that what coaches use, because I just got the pleasure of using the great Mark Perry sheet, so I'm doing the best I can.
Thing is, I have a scorer sheet. The other thing is, no one actually told me how to use it, so just hoping I get this right.
You could ask Rick Olmstead. I bet he'll come down and show you.
1-1 pitch to Jim. Head up to the shortstop. Runner into second, and no play available.
Ball rolled a little too slow there for Edmonds, and once he looked up at second base, Penfold was already there, and by that point, once you look at second base, there's no chance at first.
Runners at first and second as Jake Boyd, the second baseman, comes to the mound. Fisher now taking a look at the field, realizing he's got some work here. Fisher delivers, bunt laid down by Boyd. Well placed bunt as well. Harris quickly had to make the play, then jump back onto the plate just in case the runner Penfold decided to advance.
And that loads the bags for Mackay Stewart, who hit again 2 RBI double in the first inning. And he's got some juice, and I expect him to show it off here in this second at bat, as he digs himself in.
Stewart swung at the first pitch and his first at bat. Doesn't want to swing at that one. I'm not even sure Vladimir Guerrero Sr. would have swung at that one.
I mean, that looked more like a Scotty Scheffler ball where he's just trying to hook it.
Fisher, 1-0 pitch. That one well high for ball 2.
That was more Roger Clemens.
Mm-hmm. Big challenge at the plate for Fisher.
Well, Menchie still only got one glove on.
That one well delivered pitch, flies it, drops
gotta go
right into the infield. 1 run will score. Safe at third is the call, and that's all the damage that will be done there.
That almost was catastrophic there for Collingwood, because nobody wanted to go until they knew that ball was going to hit the ground, but because it's basically just in front of second base, they can throw it anywhere and get a note. And now it's the other big slugger in Nielsen.
Nielsen looks at that one high, ball 1.
That ball almost got thrown away by Fisher, which again, I hit the live ball if it misses Fisher, so that could have been another free run for Collingwood. Good catch though by Fisher.
Bases loaded from the third baseman. Cranks that one into left. Will it be foul? No, it's over the head and back to the fence. 1 run is in. Runner around third coming to the plate. 2 runs are in. And it'll be a double and 2 RBIs for Grant Nielsen.
And that'll be a chance for Mitchell Scott, who hit a triple in his last at bat, to get the mercy in the 4th run. I will mention that if Scott hits a double that goes, or hits a ball that goes out of play, then the 5th run will count. If the ball stays in play, the 5th run won't count. That is the only caveat to the 4-run mercy rule.
The catcher, Mitchell Scott. First pitch swung and missed. That one a little low for to swing at, but a good effort nonetheless.
Definitely one of the waste pitches on the outside of the plate.
Scott steps back in. Cranks one. Up past right to the shortstop. Actually, throw over to first. Not in time, safe.
But that's
4th run
anyway.
will cross the plate, and that will be all that is needed for another mercy inning by the Collingwood Jays.
JC, Collingwood's undefeated, and they're showing why here. They're a very consistent team offensively and defensively, and they've continued that here today.
Well, the Junior Bay Sox, a little bit of work to do here as we head to the top of the fourth.
I will say that they've updated the website. It looks like the final is slated for 1 o'clock. It's already 12:11. So we'll see if it's closer to 1:30 between the two winners of the semifinals here today. Well, we'll just have to see.
Have we heard anything from the other semifinal game being played in Shallow Lake?
Yet. I'm updating the website right now. I just thought that, JC, that the game might be over. I haven't seen anything yet, because again, that game we were told started at 10 o'clock. I'm not 100% sure if it did end up starting at 10 o'clock down in Shallow Lake. And it sounds like the great Mark Perry just gave us the quick update. It was 10:45 in Shallow Lake, so they only started about 15 minutes before us. So we'll see if that's, well, I guess technically 45 minutes, because it took us an extra half hour to get the field fully cleared off with all the soot. And we'll see when we get a final score down in Collingwood, or not down in Collingwood, down in Shallow Lake. And I will make sure I say Shallow Lake, even though, again, as a kid from Wyerton, I kind of shorten everything down as a local. As now down, we'll get a chance to dig in for the first time for Owen Sound.
Pitch on the outside for a strike as Jib starts strong. That one on the outside, ball one. Jib working quick. Got him to swing, strike two.
Good pitch there by Jib.
Again, 6 strikeouts for Jib, looking for number 7. Down, stays alive.
And respect to Ken Ellis beside us. He didn't even flinch at that one. I would have been ducking and diving off the scaffold when I saw that one coming back at me. And now he's got a fence in front of him, but that don't matter to me.
There's the pitch by Jib outside. That'll be ball 2. Jib looking for strikeout number 7. Won't get it there. Runs the count full.
Just low, and I mean just low.
This is the first time that Jib has had a little bit of struggle with a batter.
And I'm telling you, Ken Ellis still didn't move. I don't know what he's made of, and it's definitely stronger stuff than me.
Down doing a great job to stay alive in this at-bat. Lead-off man this inning. That one a dead ball. As Down still stays alive.
That was a quick call there by Mazelwell behind the plate, making sure all the pitch of that was dead. Because Scott came up firing. He was ready to throw.
There's the pitch. That one flied up. Movement on the infield here. It's called for, and catch should be made by the shortstop.
And that's Nico Weinper, and I got a little worried, JC, because that ball looked like it might have been easier for the center fielder who was coming at the ball than the shortstop coming backward from the ball, because usually you want to run into it, not kind of waddle back behind it, back step, but Nico was able to catch that ball, just get the glove out there and make that nab.
I was a little worried myself we might see an all-star collision out there, but strike one there called.
But in fairness to Nico Weinper, he did exactly what you're supposed to do, JC. Look up at that ball, wait, call it, and they let him have it.
That is strike 2 to Henderson Bartley, who starts in an 0-2 hole here.
And Bartley is the number 1 hitter, so we're back to the top of the order for Owen Sound.
And strike 3. 3 pitches and 3 swinging strikes for Henderson Bartley.
And that's the 7th K there for for the pitcher of Collingwood in Gibber. And with that, JC, that's the 3rd straight scoreless inning for Owen Sound, who got the first two, or pardon me, they still have one more batter.
Flood flies that one up, second baseman under it, and that will be good enough.
That's a good call there by Jake Boyd. They're doing exactly what you're supposed to be, exactly what you're supposed to do, exactly what you're taught. sometimes the older guys have a problem with it, JC, calling a ball. They see it problem in the majors. That's why guys collide. It's because you don't open your mouth and say, mine, got it. Which, again, in fairness to a guy that calls every ball, doesn't matter if that ball is at the line, Kevin Kiermaier, but that is exactly what you're supposed to do. Just call the ball, because that avoids collision. Because you hear it and you go, okay, that's his, he's got it. And that happened both times on both infielder catches for Weinper and his defensive partner just to his left before I mess this all up. In Boyd, as then I'll get a chance to put themselves a little closer, JC, to the mercy, which I now will talk about. The mercy rule is, I won't even mention the third inning mercy, but the fourth run mercy is 15 runs, differential of 15. Fifth inning, after the fifth inning, it's 10 runs. So going into the bottom of the fourth, if Collingwood scores 2 runs, and there are no more runs in the fifth for Owen Sound, the game will end. Because obviously they're the home side. If Owen Sound can bring it back within the 10, then they'll play till the 10th run is scored, and then the game will end. Implying Collingwood can get it. But we'll just have to see.
Stay with us, folks. There are a number of things that could happen, and we are prepared for most scenarios.
And I will quickly say, JC, I just updated the score. It is done in Shallow Lake. The Newmarket Hawks will be here at roughly 1 o'clock, 1:30, for the final against whoever the winner of this game is. The Hawks are officially the second undefeated team, 14-4 win against the Muskoka Hornets down in Shallow Lake. So we will get a chance to wait and see for the other undefeated team to make their way here to Balmy Beach.
So a 14-4 win for Newmarket over Muskoka. They'll face the winner of this one, which right now, based on what we've seen so far and based on what their record would indicate, it's going to be Collingwood, but
which means it'll be an undefeated 4-0 or 5-0 Collingwood versus an undefeated 5-0 Newmarket, who have not seen each other yet this tournament in round robin play.
Well, we'll see if we can get a big defensive inning here by the Junior Bay Sox. First pitch is in, and that one a swinging strike.
And it's the crank up to bat for Collingwood, who scored the mercy run in the first inning. So he can get a chance to run the bases. So we'll see what McCrank can do here as the leadoff hitter in the fourth.
0-1 pitch outside for a ball.
And I love these kids, man. They don't take a step out of the box. They don't try to hold up the game. They stay in the box, take one cut, and they're ready to go.
That one high on the outside. Ball 2 to McCrank. Lance Fisher on the mound for the Bay Sox. Delivers. Got him to swing. Strike 2.
That's 2 misses. 2 swing and misses on both strikes there for McCrank.
This is Fisher looking for his first strikeout of the game. Can he get it here? That one in the dirt. That's going to run the count full. The bats have been alive all afternoon for the Jays, but maybe a strikeout for Fisher here. Delivered, got him! Swung and missed, strike 3.
That's his first K of the day there for Fisher, and it's all McCrank, who's got, I'd say, maybe the nicest stance I've seen. Nice little sway, feet are parallel. I like what I see.
Oliver Crowder up now. Scored with an RBI in the second. That one across the plate. Nice job by Harris to block it with the body.
That's something they got to teach at a young age. Now, lots of catchers still have problems with it up in the big leagues. Just getting your body in front, keeping that ball from getting away and letting base runners go, even though there's no base runners here right now.
There's the pitch hit up to the shortstop. Third baseman races in for it as well. Bit of a miscommunication, and that results in an overthrow at first. That's where Crowder will remain.
I will mention, smart there by Crowder. That's something they definitely should teach the kids at this level, and I know they have, is when you get to first base, you trail away from the baseline. Because if you cross that baseline, they're going to say you're going to second base and call you out. Because we had that happen in when I played junior softball.
Line for up. That one paints the corner for a strike. 1 pitch coming. Fisher. Strike 2 called.
And again, it's where it crossed at the beginning, not at the end. So even though the catcher's catching it near the dirt, that ball is hitting the bottom of the zone at the front of the plate. It's all that matters. Okay, it's a 3D object.
Looking for the second strikeout now is Fisher. Here he goes. That one hit up to the shortstop. Can they get 2 here? There's one at second. Won't get the throw off as quickly. But the right idea, though, is the mechanics are there for the double play.
And they even got the throw off. The second baseman didn't need it. But they do get the force out there at second, and now it's a chance here to get away with no runs allowed in this 4th inning as Wench comes up with 2 outs and 1 guy on base.
RBI for Winch. That one high. Sees a ball. There's the throw to second. Just off the mark for Harris. He had the speed. He was just a little bit off the mark.
And he did take a second there to get that ball out. He would have had him by a mile if he would have been able to get that ball out originally, but he just had a problem collecting it.
1-0 pitch. Hit up to the shortstop. A little delay there by the runner at second. They get him at first, and that'll be all they need.
And I'm not sure if that was intentional there by Weinberg to try to maybe mess with the fielder. I'm not exactly sure why he stopped up, because obviously there's no force. So I'm assuming he's just trying to make the fielder second guess, but obviously the fielder had no doubt just Edmonds pick up the ball, go to first base, get the force, and the inning.
Might have been worried about the tag in the baseline. I'm not exactly sure. But in any case,
that's a scoreless 4th inning for both sides, which is a big positive for Owen Sound after getting mercied in 2 of the 3 innings they played before that. They now get a chance to show that they can stop these hot Collingwood bats.
They needed a defensive inning. They get a strikeout from Fisher. The shortstop, Hunter Edmonds, will be the leadoff for the Bay Sox here.
As this will be the second, again, just the start of the second run through of the order for Owen Sound, as I believe the last out of the inning in the previous was Bartley, who is the leadoff hitter.
Jib already ready to go. Not much time needed for him as Edmonds steps in. Jib delivers high outside, ball 1. Jib set on the mound again. The pitch. Got him. Strike 1. That one looked like it was right down the middle. Edmonds makes contact. That'll drop into shallow left center.
And Rowbotham almost let that ball get by him, but he got enough of a glove on it so it didn't roll all the way to the fence, and then the center fielder was able to come up and clean up the mess there in Jackson McCrank.
Leadoff man aboard. That'll be Chesser, the right fielder. Pitch swung, missed, strike 1. Quick throw back to first. Safe at first.
I'm telling you, Scott comes up firing every time he catches that ball at home plate. He is not afraid to make that throw down to first base and try to get Stewart the ball. And again, they almost maybe got him there at first base.
There's a pitch. Chester swung on a missed, strike 2. And again, the throw back down the line to first.
That time Scott threw it a little bit behind. Stewart, good catch though by the first baseman to make sure that ball doesn't get away and they don't give up that free bag anyway.
Jim quickly looking here. 0-2 count. That one's going to be a ball, and off to second base goes Edmonds, and he's going to trot in there safely.
And a good job there by Scott, pardon me, to know that he's not going to be able to make that throw to second base and just let it go. Because sometimes the ego takes over, JC. You want to get that out. You want to be able to get that runner, but you got to be able to kind of say, no, I won't be able to get him. And that's strike 3 on Chesser.
Struck out looking for the 8th strikeout.
As now the pitcher, Fisher, will get a chance to step back in.
Fisher struck out in his first appearance. back in the first. Jim looking for strikeout number 8, fouled back. Runner at second. Pitch by Jib. Got the corner, strike 2.
And again, it feels like both righties have been dominating the right side of the plate against the lefty. And that's going to be another free bag.
That'll be a pass ball.
I assume Scott's probably going to go back to the outside part of the plate here on this lefty.
That pitch high, got Fisher to turn out. Ball 2.
Well, I was right, it was going to be up, but I was on the wrong side of the plate. You went inside, I thought outside.
That pitch delivered low, and that will issue a walk. Fisher heads down to first. Runners now at the corners as a quick meeting takes place with Jib on the mound.
That's Mitchell Scott again, and you gotta love when the kids are able to make that choice for themselves. The coach doesn't need to come out and tell them. It's just Scott to make, kind of point at Ethan and saying, "Hey, come here," having that little conversation. Now all the fielders, of course, converge.
Believe it or not, going back to the first inning, that's when another walk was issued to the second batter of the game, Dennis Flood. That was the only other time Jibs really had himself any sort of trouble this game. That pitch in for a strike.
And that's Sealer back up to bat. Or Sealy, pardon me, who's also playing second. Wearing the double 9s, who we all, of course, know, who wore that number, made it popular.
There's a quick throw. Second. Oh, cut off by the pitcher.
I'm not sure if that was a throw to second, or if that was meant to go to the pitcher, because it was basically right at his head. It was a good catch, though, by Jib to make sure, because I know I was taught if you're playing catch in the front of the corners, you never throw to second base, because that ball goes anywhere, even when you throw it, that person on third might go.
Foul ball up the first baseline by Sealy.
Now a chance for Jib to add to his strikeout count, make it number 9, with 2 strikes here against Sealy.
There's the pitch, that one low for a ball. Runners at second and third. Again, the Bay Sox trying to stay alive in this game here. That ball outside, ball 3, full count. See if Jack Sealy can reach here. There's the pitch by Jib, swung and struck out.
That's a good catch there by Scott, because again, that and I will make sure I mention this because I did read this in the rules, that there is no pass ball on a third strike. If that you swing, you get called out, the catcher drops it, you can't run to first base. Any other runner can, it's a live ball, but you do not get free first base, you are still struck out. As now Coach Stewart comes out to talk, who is the head coach there in Gavin Stewart. And it looks like it will be a substitution here as Jib's day ends, who again had a great day, 8 Ks and in. Looks to be, and I'm trying to get a number, and it will be Nico Weinper, who has been playing short, as Penfold from the bench will move to shortstop. So Penfold now in at short. Weinper will be pitching, and Jib will now take a seat. They will still, of course, at bat, because again, every kid gets a chance to swing. So we'll see what Nico Weinper can do as they release pitchers here for Collingwood.
So 9 strikeouts to end the day for Ethan Jib, and if I'm calling or doing my math right on this, 4 2/3 inning and maybe 2 hits. Couple walks. Pretty good pitching line, really, at the end of the day.
For a 10, 11-year-old? Yeah, I mean,
It's
better than anything you and I could do. Well, definitely, I'll say I for sure. I'll make sure I personalize that one, JC. I'm not sure if you can throw some gas, but I know my gas ain't that good.
I think he would still be a factor in a Blue Jays rotation.
Well, without Kikuchi, I mean, he can slot right into what, the 4-hole?
Well, quite possibly. That bullpen can use all the help it can get at this point. Maybe Ethan Jibb, just what they asked for.
What do you need to change jerseys? It's close enough. And now Maloney will get a chance to step back in. As runners are on first, or second and third, pardon me. First base is open.
All right, Jude Maloney to resume here. That one a strike.
And an interesting lineup there by Weinberg. Sorry to interrupt you there, JC, but he kind of steps out. When he's set, he comes set, and then he kind of steps out to his left and then comes back.
He does, yeah.
Which is kind of interesting because I'll say, JC, that normally opens your hips, which you don't really want. You want to be able to coil your hips to be able to create all that power and then come through.
Hit up the third base line. That'll be a foul.
And a great catch there by the center fielder of the senior base Sox, Ryan Bartley. Showing off his move there at third base as the coach.
Weinberg looks in. Delivers that one high and outside for a ball.
I also got to be honest, the same thing that Robotham does when I saw him pitching yesterday against Muskoka. He likes to lean in. Like, it makes me think of Craig Kimbrell. As that one got fouled back. Scott didn't know where it was, but that's a dead ball, so it doesn't matter.
Jude Maloney staying alive. 2 outs. The pitch. Weinberg struck him out.
And that ends the inning. I believe, JC, no damage done. Am I correct?
No damage done in that inning.
So if Collingwood scores just 2 runs, it'll become a 12-2 game, and that will hit us the mercy here in the 5th inning, as the 10-run differential is now in effect after the 5th inning. And again, as the home team, they get to bat last as they come out here for the bottom of the 5th.
But an hour into gameplay here after a lengthy delay today. Much, much different weather currently than what we started the day with.
Thank goodness, by the way. I know we got the truck today, as it sits just behind us, the beautiful Rogers truck, but it still ain't nice to be standing out in the rain there, JC. As you see there, you see the big Rogers truck beside Mark's little cargo van. Kind of makes it look like a dwarf van. The cargo van's not a small vehicle, but that truck, man, it's a beauty to see, especially when you get a chance to cover some games beside it. And you and I can finally say, JC, unlike just saying the closet down at the base shore, we can actually say the truck, and it be a truck.
Currently 23 degrees, 30 with the Humidex here.
And again, the sun's shining. I knew it was supposed to be a cloudy day from what my weather app said, but it's nice to see the sun bless us with its appearance, giving us the beautiful UV rays. As Fisher does come back out for the bottom of the 5th, we'll see how long of a lead Fisher's got here in this 5th. And you saw Collingwood, who had 3 straight shutout innings from Jibb, pull him to make sure they could get the outs there with Mikko Weinberg.
Standard warm-up for Fisher.
As again, the other semifinal is over. Newmarket will be here at the Balmy Beach at the Gary Edmondstone Field after their 14-4 win against Muskoka down in Shallow Lake. Not sure if they've appeared yet here in the Georgian Bluffs, but almost Owen Sound.
Looks like we're just about ready to go here.
And there will be the pitch out, so we are now ready. Starting off here for Collingwood will be the 10-hole hitter in Parker Robertson, who has been in left field. Again, both these benches are loud, which I do appreciate. Gotta love when the bench can get involved.
Fisher is set. Pitch into Robertson is low for ball 1. Fisher ready again. Second pitch, that one hit up to the third base. Throw over to first. Got him.
Caden Carson, who you'd say is on the shorter side of the U11 division, has a cannon. Like, that was a beauty throw from third base. Hot ground ball, able to easily retrieve it, and a great throw to get Robertson out at first.
Robotham at the plate now. That one high for ball 1.
And I got told by a couple of Jays who have been hanging out beside us basically the whole game, Elliot Robotham's nickname? Nighthawk. What a nickname that is.
That pitch fouled back by Nighthawk. 1-1 in the count.
I mean, his name is Robotham. I mean, it's close enough to Rogotham. I mean, call him Dark Knight at this point.
Pitch is well behind Robotham there. That'll be ball 2.
And he's also kind of covering the plate, JC. His top foot's almost on the line. So these Collingwood Jays like to cover the plate.
That pitch got the corner.
That was a great pitch, too. Again, you love throwing the ball low at the bottom of the plate and just catching it there at the front.
2-2 pitch. Got him. Struck out looking. That's just the second strikeout of the game thrown by Fisher.
And now coming up is the 12-hole hitter, the final hitter in the Jays lineup in Colin Penfold, who's now at short.
Penfold get that high stance.
It looks like Aaron Judge out there.
Penfold makes contact off to first. The flip not in time.
Yeah, the problem is there, JC, is the first baseman came off the bag thinking that ball was going to roll to him. Fisher catches the ball and he's got no one to throw to. So Penfold gets the easy single in the end. That's now back up the top of the order there in Ethan Jibb, who just got subbed out as the former starting pitcher.
Scored 2 runs in this game, Jibb has. Hit by pitch in the first. Stolen base attempt over at second. Did they get him? No! Thrown out by Harris, and that will end the inning.
And that's another scoreless inning, so we go to 6. 2 straight scoreless innings on both sides. Now Weinpro come back out here for the top of the 6th. We'll mention there's also a time limit, so these are usually a time limit with the 145. I don't believe that will apply here in this final game. Yeah, there will be no time limit in the final championship game.
We will play till we have a winner today.
That we will. And again, this is scheduled for 7 innings. We'll see if we hit the mercy now going into the 6th, which is just 9 runs. So currently, Collingwood's 1 run away from that. We'll see if Owen Sound can make this game just a little bit closer. And I will mention in the final inning, which will be the 7th, at this point, there will be an 8-run maximum for both teams, and any extra innings will be the same. It'll be 8 runs. As I see here, the Hawks are now starting to make their way to the field in their white. So Newmarket is making their way here to Balmy Beach.
A chance for them to see what these Collingwood Jays are up to today and what both these teams are up to today.
They have faced off against the Bay Sox, I believe.
Weinford's pitch is in the dirt, ball 1.
Actually, I would be incorrect because Collingwood and Owen Sound were in the same division. They have not seen either of these two teams, so they're watching both teams right now. Would be Newmarket.
I stand corrected. That pitch made contact with Jack Harris, who heads down to first base. Leadoff man aboard for the Junior Bay Sox.
As now River Van Cedar steps in with his extra wide stance.
Pitch caught the outside corner, strike one.
River Van Cedar's swing or stance almost looks like Brian Post of the senior Bay Sox, with how wide that front foot is.
Line per. That one high, ball two. Stolen base attempt, safe.
That was almost
second.
a perfect throw there, JC. That got right into the glove there of the second baseman for Collingwood and Jack Boyd. It just happened to be a little bit late there from Scott.
Line per delivers. Outside, ball two. For working quickly. That one ticked for a strike.
And that should be 2-2.
And Cedar. That one in the dirt. Quick base running down to third base is Harris.
Easy call there for Will Hillier. He's on the third base side of the field.
Full count for Van Cedar. Pitch by Weinfer is high and outside. That'll be a walk. Van Cedar will make that runners at the corners.
Time call here is Scott and Weinfer are going to go have a little conversation. And again, they got to love the kids trying to, settle down the pitcher.
Little tap on the shoulder. You got this.
Owen Sound with a guy on third base, though, are trying to get their first runs of the game since the first inning.
It'll be Blackburn who's showing bunt as he steps in.
He's showing bunt early. He's not trying to hide it at all.
Avery Blackburn reached on a fielder's choice. His first at bat. That one Scott very quickly watching for any stolen base attempts.
See, that was the almost Jedi mind trick there. Show bunt the whole time pre at bat and then pull it back.
There's the pitch. Contact made. It'll be fouled by Blackburn. Blackburn sees the pitch. That one contact made down the line. Dead ball.
Just behind it there was Nielsen. He really tried to get there, but just could not reach out and make that nab.
Blackburn looking to stay alive in this at bat. See if he can move either Harris down the line. There's an attempt over at second. And getting safely in there will be Van Cedar as Blackburn strikes out looking.
And now Gurney will get a chance to step back in.
Weinberg delivers. Strike. Scott watching Harris down the third base line.
Weinberg watching the River Van Cedar at second base.
That one fouled back, strike two. Weinberg delivers. High for a ball.
And Weinberg asking for a new ball.
It looks like he was checking before that last pitch.
I mean, that's smart. You know, if you can't grab the ball or you feel something off, you get some dirt, tuck in the seam or what, get a fresh ball. They have them all wrapped behind us, JC. They're fresh, right out of the package.
Got him. struck from out
That's
looking.
2 outs. As Scott thought it was a third when he rolled it to him, and they do have to get their third out here. But again, they might be able to get out of this one without any damage here, as they're still in a jam with guys on second and third.
3 strikeouts now for Weinfer.
Caden Carson comes in, the third baseman.
That one high for ball.
You got it, Kate. You got it here, bud.
Scott keeps the runner at third honest. That's Harris. Weinford leans in. All low.
That's a third ball, but in fairness to Weinberg, he's got an open base at first, so a walk does not score a run. So it is not a killer, but it definitely makes his job a little bit harder.
Already issued 1 walk this inning. That one a strike.
But I also will mention a walk does obviously make it harder because bases are loaded, but also it means to force any bag. So any ground ball means you and the fielding just pick it up and walk to a bag.
Weinfer again, set. That is a walk. Second walk issued this inning.
You and I both have water bottles just floating around here now as the wind's starting to pick up. As now Coach Stewart comes out, so it might be the end of Weinfer's day. We'll see here. Because again, you're allowed 3 mound visits per pitcher per inning. So this is the second for Weinfer, I would say, with Stewart calling one earlier.
It'll be Down, who's next up. Ran the count full. His first at-bat back in the 4th inning.
As Down will be the next batter here, the last hitter in the lineup for Owen Sound. So Bartley will be digging in here, ready to try to get all these Ducks home if Down can get on base.
They are working with 2 outs.
This is the moment you always dream of, though, JC. 2 outs, bases juice.
High pitch to start.
Early advantage, Owen Sound.
Weinfer delivers. Got him outside, strike 1. One and 1 for Down. Here comes Weinfer. That one low, but good for a strike.
Giselle likes those low pitches right at the knees.
Weinfer now looking for his 4th strikeout since coming in. There's the pitch, got him.
And again, bases juice, and Collingwood gets their 5th straight scoreless inning. And again, having to deal with some ducks on the pond, but they've been able to get away unscathed every single time since the 1st inning.
Three left on base. Now we will head to the bottom of the 6th. A lot of times in this game, Collingwood has looked as though they are in full control, but at other times, Owen Sound has challenged and kept it close. At this point, Fisher still in the game at this point. Home half of the sixth inning will start back at the top of the order for the Collingwood Jays with Ethan Jibb up to bat. Jibb was hit by a pitch in the first inning and scored a run, and then scored his next at bat of the third. That one starts with a foul ball back for strike one. Fisher on the mound. A one pitch. That's a ball, 1-1. Fisher again. One outside. Count 2-1 for both the starting pitchers of this game. Jibb's now been out for a couple of innings. Fisher still in. That one fouled down the third baseline. Fisher working the 2-2 count. That one bounces off the plate for a ball. That'll run the count full.
Again, Jibb, the leadoff hitter for Collingwood.
Pitch is in, hit up to the shortstop. They've got it, fielded over to first in time. And Jibb retired.
Owen Sound's done a great job the last 2 innings now into this 6th inning in not allowing Collingwood to get the bats going. Owen, there are 2 straight innings of no runs allowed, and now they've got 7 straight outs without allowing a run.
Jake Boyd up now. Solidly hit right back to the fielder, just out of reach.
And just a little slip there, too, as he tried to nab it. And didn't even think about stopping at second. It's now into third.
Boyd around to third. The overthrow there will still stop him.
That's now up. Come one of the sluggers here for Collingwood. Already has, I believe, just 2 RBIs on the day in Mackay Stewart.
Runner at third, 1 out.
Pitcher steps off. He's still in the game, by the way, here in the bottom of the 6th. Pitched every inning so far.
There's the pitch by Fisher. Outside for a ball.
Just inside, and I almost will say sold the call there against Stewart as he jumped inside.
Stewart sees that one die about 3 feet in front of the plate.
Again, I'll have to bring out the cricket bat for that one, JC.
Extra base hit for Stewart in the first. Scored in the first and third. That one up the third base line. They'll make the throw over to first. It'll be off the mark.
There was nobody there as it looked to be. If I'm scanning for a number, I think it maybe double twos there, and Jude Maloney wasn't holding on the bag.
That run being the 9th run to score. And as it's now a 9-run mercy rule, I believe.
Yep, 9-run mercy rule in the 6th.
That is going to do it for this ball game.
So that will be a 9-2 final in favor of Collingwood. They finally get that mercy they've had in effect basically since the start of the 5th inning. And that will mean officially, JC, that it is a 9-2 win for Collingwood, an official final here at Balmy Beach. It'll be Collingwood versus Newmarket. An O has got to go in the final.
This game ending a little prematurely, but for the Collingwood Jays, that just will mean a little bit of downtime, a little bit of extra downtime before they now play that final game. This is going to be a good final, and yes, we will have it for you here on Rogers TV if you are joining us live this afternoon. We do intend to carry that game.
We'll just have to see when it starts, because again, it was slated for about an hour after this one. I believe they told us that it probably won't be an hour in between, close to maybe a half hour. So if that does ring true, it'll be about a 1:30 to 1:45 start here between these two teams. Because obviously Newmarket, and in fairness to Collingwood, they have to drive home today, and it's not a close drive for either of these two squads.
Well, impressions for the Owen Sound Junior Bay Sox. Spencer, your thoughts on how they played here today?
I mean, I think the Bay Sox represented themselves really well, especially as the game went on. Obviously, for the first inning, they get the game started off with 2 runs. The only 2 runs they scored the entire game, but they showed they did have some really good chances there, but scoreless after that. And defensively, they did a great job in the 4th and 5th, and now even in the 6th, only allowing that mercy 1 run. They did a great job at limiting the Collingwood bats that had scored 10 runs, or if I can count, 10 runs in the first 3 innings.
Well, very strong Collingwood Jays team. We'll see if they can take that strong batting lineup into this final game. The Newmarket team awaits for them. Otherwise, we're going to wrap things up here from